Hi, Tom here. Today I want to give a quick overview of charging electric cars at home. So I'm going to cover home electricity basics, types of EV charging, my cars and how I use them, and my future plans for EV. Let's talk about home electricity basics. If you live in North America, you are familiar with this plug. It can have only two parallel prongs or an additional round connector below it. The prongs can be the same size or one could be slightly larger. In the US, this plug is used to connect to an outlet that supplies 120 volts and 15 or 20 amps. If you don't understand these terms, let me make a comparison to a river. Voltage, which is measured in volts, can be thought of as the slope of the river. A steeper slope means more energy. Current, which is measured in amps, is the amount of water flowing past a point. Energy is measured in watts and is volts multiplied by amps and could be a snapshot or an average over a short time. Power is watts over time, most commonly expressed as kilowatt hours. A kilowatt hour is 1,000 watts for 1 hour, which is like running a room heater for 1 hour. Your electric company bills you for the kilowatt hours that you use. A ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, is a special type of outlet that will disconnect the power if there is a short, like if you run over an extension cord with your lawnmower. All outdoor outlets, including those for EV charging, should be GFCI. So this plug can connect to a circuit with 120 volts and a maximum of 15 or 20 amps. The actual maximum is determined by the circuit breaker. This outlet with this little extra sideways prong can supply 20 amps, which is to say it is connected to a 20 amp breaker. Other devices on the same circuit, other outlets, will share that 20 amps. So don't try connecting a heater on the same circuit as an EV charger. This is the ubiquitous J1772 charging connector that can be used on most electric cars. It connects to my power outlet using a device called an EVSE, Electric Vehicle Supply Equipment. One of my EVSEs can supply 12 amps and the other can supply 15 amps and 120 volts. This is level 1 charging at 1.44 kilowatts or 1.8 kilowatts respectively. Level 2 chargers, of which there are 4 in my town, can supply 6.6 kilowatts using the same J1772 connector. The car will tell the charger how much energy it can use. Level 2 charging in a home setting is rare since it could double the amount of electricity that your house needs. DC fast charging can supply massive amounts of power, now into the hundreds of kilowatts. But the connection requirements, power available, and charging speeds are specific to your car and charger. Not all cars can do DC fast charging. There are 3 types of fast charging connectors: Tesla, which is used only in Tesla cars; CCS, which is used in most cars; and CHAdeMO, which is rare in the United States, being used mainly by the Nissan Leaf. Chargers from EVgo support or will support all 3 connectors. There are a few DC fast chargers in New Jersey, and most are on highway rest stops. I found that the Garden State Parkway has 3 EVgo locations. The New Jersey Turnpike has 6 locations, of which 4 are Tesla superchargers and 2 are EVgo. Let's talk about my cars and how I use them. I have a Mustang Mach-E with a reported range of 140 miles in winter and 220 miles in summer. My 5-year-old Prius Prime is a plug-in hybrid, getting 18 miles on battery in winter and 32 miles in summer, and 52 miles per gallon on gas. I also have a gas-powered 2012 Hyundai Elantra. All 3 drivers have short commutes: 42 miles a week for the Mustang, 50 miles a week for the Prius, and 14 miles a week for the Elantra. The longest trip that the Mustang has taken so far was 146 miles round trip in winter, so DC fast charging was required. By the time it took to get some food at a rest stop, the car was charged to 80%. The Mustang charges very slowly after 80% to protect the battery, so if you're not at home, it's not worth trying to get to 100%. The 3 cars occupy a long, skinny driveway, and charging can only be done from the middle spot and the spot closest to the street. If the Prius is not in the middle, it must be backed in to get the charging port close enough. Never use an extension cord on an EV charger, no matter how heavy the cord. I still have the melted plug if you want to see it. My future plans for the fleet. At the time of this video, it is difficult or impossible to go out and buy an electric car. But maybe next year, if the supply crisis eases, I'll replace the Elantra with another EV. We have shown over the last year that we've been able to manage charging 2 cars. One driver can also charge at work, which would be perfect for a new EV with a weekly commute of only 50 miles. They could charge once a week at work. And we still have the plug-in Prius if we need to take a long trip. In summary, with gas prices at an all-time high, it's great to be using electricity for most of our miles. I'll be researching the effect of adding the Mustang to our electricity bill, and I'm also curious to see if my price per kilowatt hour has been affected by the increased cost that our electricity provider is paying for oil and natural gas to generate the electricity. Thanks for watching.